love Catalyzer because I really see myself as someone who can ask the right question or, recommend a practice or something that will then spark the other person's aha and their ability to kind of get clear on what they want, who they are, stand up for themselves, and really own their own leadership, right? Own their own self or lead their own self. And so that's why the phrase self-leadership catalyzer came into play. I've always been passionate about standing up for someone, for myself or someone else, or in the work that whatever type of work I was doing, really allowing someone else to have that space to thrive. And so that's where the self-leadership catalyzer came into play. And with the recalibration strategist, I just love anything about recalibrating, creating just like, whether it's systems or, coming up with a strategy on what is it that you can do? Like, what are those steps that you can take to get from where you've realized you no longer want to be or is no longer aligned to you, to this vision that, and maybe it's a small vision, maybe it's, no matter how every vision, everyone's path is important, right? Like it's valuable. And so how is it that we can come up with a strategy to help you make those changes and come back to who you are and what it is that you truly want? And so that's where the idea of like recalibrating, it feels, I personally think it feels a little bit more doable when you're thinking in terms of recalibrating, because you're not like going a full 180. Right. It can feel like, okay, recalibration is a little bit more achievable because it's like maybe smaller steps. And so, so what I tend to do in terms of working with my clients is I've come up with an unapologetic recalibration framework. And so we really start with where the client is, and the entry point is really getting clear on, and really connecting to your inner foundation. And so for me, what I have found is that the key pathway to that is body connection. And, and I talked at the beginning about how, and I'm sure so many of our listeners have experienced that, where they feel that like sense of, for me, it was a lot of anxiety or contraction at different points, but maybe you feel excitement about something. And we don't necessarily, or we're not taught to like pay attention and follow that or use that as intelligence of its own. And so the pathway I really start with is connecting to our bodies. And then from there, once we're clear on our inner foundation and we're clear on what we're claiming as our, who we are, what we want, then we can move through the other parts of the framework, which are, managing our energy and time, really sitting into and understanding what your own creative, you as a creative person and creator, and your creative cycle is, because we're always all creating something. Like I used to think if I'm not an artist, I'm not creative, but that's not the case. And then, stepping into your next level narrative of, after you've gone through and really come home to who you are, what you want, what you're standing up for, what you're claiming, then moving into actually becoming more visible as that person.